Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you one clip to watch. It's quite, well, reasonably long. We're not 5 minutes, but it's Dan Bongino, and he has a Democrat woman on, and they're going to talk about the exodus, or the so-called exodus, from blue states to red states. And I'm showing you this clip because it really is quite entertaining in the respect of you really get to see what happens when this is an example of what happens when the right and the left come into contact with each other. It's a perfect example. What I mean by that is the right-wing person comes with the truth, critical thinking skills, foresight, pattern recognition, and all of the other things that make a conservative. And the leftist comes, of course, with the narrative, the message, spin, lies. You're going to see it, and I often say this on videos, to look at the eyes, keep an eye on the eyes, the body language. She is literally making stuff up as she goes, and you're going to see that. So we'll get into the video now. If you haven't yet though, please like the video, subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell, and share the video around if you find the video informative. We are shadow banned and deboosted because we are conservative commentators. We are the underdog. We also have a membership scheme. There's a join button down below and a link in the description box. I have 8 amazing, beautiful members who are humble and honour me that they support the Hoggcast financially by becoming a member of the Coffee Club or the Gold Club, which you can do too if you so choose. Okay, let's go.
Listen, it's no longer a debate. Americans are moving from blue states to red states in droves. The data is everywhere, and it shows states like New York and California are the least popular. But why exactly are they leaving? It's kind of important, no? Joining me now for the rebuttal is Democratic strategist Sarah Norman. Sarah, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. So, Sarah, you would think this would be...
So giving her props for at least coming on. I mean, a lot of leftists, they will run away from honest debate, especially with right-wingers. You know that they try to silence us. So let's give her that for a kickoff.
Be a testament. I mean, people are evacuating these deep blue states, New York and California, Illinois as well, en masse, and they're not relocating other blue states. They're relocating to red states. Why do you think that's happening?
This is something you're going to often see. She rolls her eyes, and it's kind of like a tell. You know, like in poker, a tell. She rolls her eyes, and then a talking point comes out. Keep that in mind, right, as this goes along, because you'll see her eyes go roll, talking point.
Housing. So, look, generally, we know that blue states and cities are much more successful when it comes to everything from economic growth to clean air and water to addressing child poverty.
No, it's not. So addressing child poverty in these big blue states like New York, California, places like that, child poverty is through the roof, especially in the big cities. She says clean air. So in a minute, as this carries on, you're going to see her contradict herself when she says that they live in the big cities. Big cities do not have clean air. Okay. There's smog, very big smog levels in big cities. So you can challenge all 3 of the examples she used to say that, oh, well, blue states are better at everything. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Poverty, but mixed in with those successes are some huge failures. And anyone who
props to her for saying that.
Generally agrees with Democratic strategy should be honest about that. Now, the biggest one of those failures is housing. That is what is driving.
This is the talking point, right? You can see, look, he knows. Look at the look on his face. He knows he is being told a pile of BS. Look at this face. She knows she is giving a pile of BS. Her eyes will often be closed, right? His just has that kind of deathly stare, That's because she knows she's lying.
The spikes in the cost of living in places like San Francisco and Seattle. And Let's take San Francisco as an example. San Francisco is the most progressive city in the United States when it comes to social issues. But when it comes to housing...
So she's framing it as if that's brilliant. Right, progressive equals brilliant. Yeah, it can only be good. So she's framing it as social issues. San Francisco and these other blue states, these failed states, these big failed cities as well. It's just brilliant. But the only thing that's failing apparently is housing. Right, apparently the only reason people are leaving is housing. Yeah.
It's not progressive at all. It's actually quite conservative. And what has happened is some wealthy homeowners and real estate investors who want housing prices to remain high.
Pure BS. So she's trying to blame rich people essentially for the failures of politicians. And I know a lot of the time that those two are the same thing. But it's pure BS.
Have used their political influence to slow down construction and impose these ridiculous zoning laws.
Sarah, I gotta stop you there for a second. This is kind of tough to take. You're not really suggesting that San Francisco has a conservative housing policy, one. And second, I'd like to challenge what you said earlier. The states, the top 10 states for economic growth, we'll put it up on the screen here, are all led by Republicans. So I don't know where you're getting your data from, but the top 10 states for job growth are all Republican-led states. So where are you getting that data that economic growth is better in blue states?
Well, it has for traditionally, and it's where the big tech companies are.
That one sentence she said there gives you the perfect and the ultimate example, a window into the mindset of the metropolitan, snobby, sneering elite. Her definition of, quote, economic growth is big tech. So we're talking Apple, Microsoft, Democrat Party donors, yeah? That's her idea of the economy. The economy equals Microsoft. The economy equals Apple. And her other latte drinking type associates who work at these tech startups, yeah? She has no concept of things like trucking jobs, bricklayers, carpenters, warehouse workers, retail workers, yeah? And so on and so on. Like ordinary jobs, contractor jobs, things like that give jobs to working people. But no, it's big tech equals economy.
And in terms of people moving
but I just showed it to you, Sarah. I mean, listen, I love the debate. That's why I have you on, and I want to let you answer. But
see, look, you can see it in the face. Look, that's stupid. Just look, yeah. This is what happens every time. That's why I said props for her to coming on to Dan Bongino's segment. But this is what happens every time a left-winger tries to debate a right-winger. This type of thing. She just has her talking points, right? She's probably got them memorized, but sometimes I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they've got a little card that says, right, say this is what you're going to say, and, this is what we're talking about. I wouldn't put it past them, yeah. That's what the left brings. The right brings facts, reasoning skills, logic, yeah? And it's like chalk and cheese. It's two incompatible ways of life. She thinks that she can just say something and it is true. He thinks you need evidence to back something up. Those two different ways of dealing with things are incompatible.
I'd just like you to address, it's on the screen right here. The top 10 states are all led by Republicans, so that's just not accurate. Like you can't just make stuff up,
I apologize. I can't see the screen. I just see a black screen. But if you're talking about the top 10 states...
Of course you do. But don't worry, Dan Bongino, he will physically, verbally tell you the states, and then you understand, yeah?
It's Montana, Idaho, South Dakota, Nebraska, Utah, Arizona, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Those are all led by Republicans, so I told you that.
Do you see that? You can't not see that. I keep seeing that. Look, this is what I mean. She keeps looking down, and it's like she's trying to gather the new talking point, yeah? She's trying to, this is the thing, Dan Bongino is trying to fit her weird Democrat worldview into reality, which is what he lives in, like all conservatives. She is trying to fit reality into her narrative. Yeah, that's why it's always the one who keeps tripping up and not the other.
I told you that.
You see, look, it's just, it's like she's getting an email put into her head by like Democrat HQ. No, say this, say that.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense due to remote work. You know, for the first time, you have been able to have the big city blue.
There it is again, big city. She doesn't have any concept of anything else other than San Francisco. For example, whatever the capital city of the state of Montana is there, the head city there, that's just San Francisco in Montana. And it's the same in Arizona. That's just San Francisco in Arizona. It's just big city equals people, yeah? Big city equals success, right?
State income while having the low cost of living in red states. I also want to point out where people are moving to. Let's look at Texas, for example. The biggest place people are moving to is Austin, which is a very blue city. Same thing with Boise, Idaho, another very blue city. So people are going
hold
to
on.
places
Can she quantify that? Can she quantify that people are heading en masse to a particular city? And it's again, it's the city thing, isn't it? It's like, she doesn't have any concept that people live other ways of life. Yeah. And this is the type of person who would preach at you about diversity and inclusion and understanding and tolerance.
red states.
Wait, so you're suggesting that people are moving from blue states to red states in blue cities, but Sarah, the red state rules still apply. Like whether you live in Miami or you live in Martin County, Florida, where I do, there is still no state income tax. So I don't get.
Yeah. There's still no state income tax, right? Right, there it is again. Look, watch her face. She goes, when he tells her straight facts about the income tax, it doesn't matter whether you go to big city, which is what she clearly only thinks exists, or small town in Florida, no income tax, yeah? And then watch her face go down again, because she's getting another email into her head, yeah? And I don't mean that in a kooky way. You know what people are like. I don't know whether it's facetious or just plain sarcastic at this point. But watch, her eyes go down again, and what she's doing is she's thinking of another talking point. She's thinking of how she can feed the reality of what Dan Bongino's saying through her narrative, yeah?
There is still no state income tax.
There, look. So now she's thinking,
So I don't get. You're making.
There we go. She's thought of something now. She's thought of a way. I know. These people aren't interested in the truth. What they're interested in is the narrative. Yeah, that's what they're interested in.
Our point, not yours, that people are leaving cities they like to live in for cities in red states that have less Democrat, rules and regulations and taxes. They were kind of making our point, not yours, right?
Well, if you could let me actually respond, I would love to make more points. But I think that it's actually a much simpler idea than what we're looking at. For the first time, people could keep their high salary jobs and explore new states. And hey, they're tending to go to red states, but.
So she's trying to. Now her angle appears to be. That suddenly, it's the coup, people are working from home. Suddenly, people are working from home, and then they've just decided en masse that because they work from home, they're suddenly just going to go move to a red state, right? Do you have any evidence for that? Right, does that make sense to you at home? Because it doesn't to me, yeah?
In the blue areas where they trust the government a little bit more. And some people are...
And in red states... The look in Daddy. Oh dear. If looks could kill. Oh, he's trying to work her out. Like, and look, she's just got that stupid look on her face. Like, it's. I forgot. Well, what was she saying? I've completely forgotten what she was saying. I actually got a good laugh out of that. Let's listen again.
People are already moving back. Like, for example, in New York.
Oh, they're moving back. They're the boomerang Democrats now. No evidence for this whatsoever. And New York is getting worse by the month. So if they've been away for a year, she's saying that these people are now suddenly moving back to a city that is worse than when they left. She shows no evidence for that. It's just narrative. Message. Beep, 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 beep. That's all it is.
We had twice the growth than we did in the first half of 2019. I honestly, back to what I was saying before, think a big issue of why people are leaving is housing. Due to remote work, we're no longer
actually have a
tied
poll.
to the cities.
I'd like to just throw this up because they asked people why they're moving. The high cost of housing is in there, but one of the other reasons is taxes, lowered 37%. Also, 39%, Sarah said, political reasons. So it's kind of a big deal, right?
That's a very big deal. 39% of people leaving a state said so for political reasons. If that's people, if you belong to the blue side and you are responsible for countless people, families, your fellow Americans, leaving your city because of political reasons, what that means is you've hounded them out. Maybe not directly. I'm not saying that if you are a Democrat, you physically hounded them out, although it's possible. For the majority, that's not going to be the case. The reason why they've left for for political reasons is because they are scared, quite frankly, for their families because of the things that the side you represent do. And because you put them as citizens last. Climate change is I find an absurd reason for this, in my opinion. But then again, better weather's on there, so meh.
They want lower taxes and they don't like the politics of the area they're leaving. I mean, we could honestly speculate, or we could just ask people why they're leaving, and they're telling us we don't like the politics or the taxes. Does that matter?
Well, I don't know what segment of people that you're looking at, but I think this is a classic case of cherry picking data to fit preconceived notions.
Listen, woman, the only person with a preconceived notion is you. Look at you look like a toddler. Look, you're always looking down. I'm convinced she's got a card down there that says, "Oh, if he says this, say that," and "Oh, you know, let's we've got this talking point." I'm convinced that I wouldn't put anything past a Democrat, nothing at all past them. Yeah, nothing.
We just asked them. I'm not cherry picking.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, she's reading. She is reading from something, right? So look, she tried to quickly get in there with another. I reckon she's probably got a phone and someone's watching and say, "Oh, say this, say that." Right, watch again. And she tries to get in there with the coof, like as a desperate last attempt. You've probably seen this on Twitter when you have an argument with the leftists on Twitter. What the left do, they open their mouths, crap comes out, their ears hear the crap, they send that into the brain, or whatever you call a leftist brain, and then that registers the crap. And it's like a circle of shit that goes around like that, a circle of political BS that just goes around and around and around. A politer way to say it is echo chamber, but this is like a self-echo chamber, yeah? But look, watch again. She is definitely reading from something. Keep an eye on her.
Notions.
We just asked them. I'm not cherry picking. They asked them. They literally asked them, why did you leave? They said taxes and politics.
She's looking down at something. She's looking at.
We asked
Yeah,
them. It's
it
not
was
me cherry picking anything. We asked them. That's a poll. That's how that works. All right. Well,
Look, she's looking down at some. Sorry, she's looking down at something. This is the thing with Democrats. They don't want a debate. They just want to win, and they'll do it by any method, by any means, as they say themselves. They say this exact phrase themselves. Quote, by any means necessary, unquote. Yeah?
Tara, listen, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on and defending your position.
Look at her, look. It's that smug New York. Look, she's even at the big city, look. It's just, that's her life. Now she's going to go to Starbucks and say how Dan Bongino did this and that. Yeah. Anyway, look, that's the end of the video. It's the end of the clip. Let me know what you think about this this clip, this situation in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.